Hello everyone, Sparrow Vision. Welcome to my channel. I don't know if anyone has or been familiar with the show on A&E called 60 Days In. Is where they put regular citizens inside the jails to give insight what's going on, how drugs are being brought in, how the corrections officers are treating everyone. This person here in the orange jumpsuit is former Sheriff Jamey Noel, who was in the very first episode of 60 Days In. He was the sheriff in Clark County, Indiana. He's been there for a number of years. He is now facing several big felony charges, stealing from taxpayers, stealing from the sheriff's office, just all kinds of things. Not only is he facing all these accusations, his wife is facing charges, his daughter's facing charges, because he wasn't just satisfied doing things for himself. He had to get other members of his family involved. Here is just a little bit of his court proceedings before we'll get to the next one where he actually pleads guilty and learns his sentence. This is from News WHAS Channel 11 in Louisville, Kentucky.
All right, clause number 10, C01 2311 F5 297, State of Indiana versus Jamey Noel. Mr. Noel, this is your initial hearing on 6 new criminal charges. For the record, would you state your full name?
Jamey John Noel.
And your date of birth?
1870.
That make you how old?
53.
And last 4 digits your social security number.
2558, Your Honor.
What's your address?
3001 Old Tay Bridge, Jeffersonville, Indiana, 47130.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, including alcohol today?
No, Your Honor.
Read and understand the English language?
Yes, Your Honor.
If I say something you don't understand, will you let me know?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll go through these counts.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
before we go into the initial hearing, I just want to, for the record, I want to note an objection based on the statute relative to amended informations, specifically under subsection B2. I believe we're past the omnibus date. I think it's clear that the charges are additional counts, some of which alter defenses and or evidence that might be adduced at trial. So I think it's clear that they tend to affect the substantial rights of the defendant. In that case, I just want to note that we believe that under subsection B, we should have been permitted adequate notice and an opportunity to be heard prior to the court entering an order on June 3rd accepting the charges. But I understand the court has set this for an initial hearing. I just want to note that.
State like to respond?
Well, a couple things, Your Honor. I guess first of all, there is a provision in the statute that allows for the amendment or the additional charges to be filed based on newly discovered evidence. As the court knows, and certainly the defense knows, this is an investigation that has basically continued on since probably June or July of last year, so almost 12 months of continued investigation. And many of these things were recently brought to light through search warrants, through American Express, Sam's Club, and a number of other entities.
Now let me give just a little bit insight with what I found out. They have done a total of 51 search warrants. A lot of it has to do with electronics, computers, like they said, bank statements, credit cards, then your other stuff like your storage sheds and just things like that. And now let's go back a little bit, or go forward a little bit. He admits to stealing $5 million.
Top 3 Movavi's video editor tricks.
Can you imagine how long it takes to steal
Was Jamey
$5
Noel the
million?
most corrupt sheriff in America? His list of crimes is staggering. Even the special judge in his criminal case has expressed disgust with Noel's behavior.
I told Mr. Noel Don't do anything stupid. Do not try to deceive me, defy me. You will not like the consequences. Today is that day. You are not the law. You don't interpret the law. You don't enforce the law. You're not above the law. I find that you are in contempt of this court. Take you into custody.
Noel served as the sheriff of Indiana's Clark County for 8 years. He'd starred in the first season of the A&E reality show 60 Days in 2016.
Miriam said, hey, the majority of people in your facility are in here for drugs, and you don't have a Narcotics Anonymous class.
But the county's top lawman had been breaking the law. In August, Noel agreed to plead guilty to 27 felonies, acknowledging he stole more than $5 million in public money. He used those funds to buy designer suits, lavish vacations, and meals, more than 100 classic cars, a private plane, and even a train. The judge in Noel's case wants to hear from ordinary residents before sentencing him to prison.
I mean, not just management, not just the sheriff's department. I want to hear from people that don't have $800 belts. I want to hear from taxpayers that have been aggrieved by the actions of this individual. EMS workers that have lost their jobs, paramedics that are not out there saving people because the money was diverted for pleasures.
For many in Clark County who know Jamey Noel, justice seemed to be riding a very slow horse. The rural county has a population of around 120,000. Its operating budget this year is $49 million. Jamey Noel's last salary as sheriff was $169,000, more than 40 times the average county sheriff's income, according to a government salary watchdog group.
We don't live in a very big area. Everybody knows Jamey. You know, they were very flashy with their money. I mean, you know, the plastic surgeries, the Botox, the purses, the clothes, the designer, everything. They absolutely wanted for nothing. They always had the newest phones, you know, newest of everything. People started questioning that stuff, like how do they afford that lifestyle, taking the lavish trips that they took.
Noel's wife, Misty, and their adult daughter, Casey, have also been charged with multiple counts of stealing tens of thousands from the nonprofit fire agency Jamey Noel founded. They've pleaded not guilty. Their trials will be held later this year.
They went to Rome. They went to Florida all the time. Nobody could figure it out, let alone me. I used to call it the Noel Mafia because I just always said, like, there was too many people involved.
Hope Noel was married to Jamey's brother Leon for 4 years. Leon Noel died in 2018, and Jamey was named executor of his estate. State investigators allege Jamey stole tens of thousands from his brother's children. He has denied those allegations.
They were shocked. They were all shocked. I was mad. I got phone calls. You know, I had to tell the kid, and they're just like, what? I was upset. I was crying. I was upset just knowing that as a family member and as Leon's brother, there was no reason for this. I don't understand why he would even do that, you know, to anyone, but let alone his brother. He literally stole from the kids as soon as, you know, he got the chance to.
All of Leon Noel's heirs have sued their uncle in civil court. Jamey Noel has not been criminally charged with stealing from the estate.
Who in their right mind just takes everything and acts like it's theirs? I don't get it. But the amount of stuff Jamey has done is really kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Community activist Sean Bostic says he's been helping state investigators uncover Jamey Noel's web of corruption.
I was contacted by the Indiana State Police early on because I knew the player. The investigators were all from out of town. They knew nobody involved, and my name came up to them a few times. People lost their lives. That is the biggest thing. His mismanagement costed staff the necessary equipment that they needed to do their job, and the damage and potential of death because of his negligence. Secondarily, public trust of law enforcement has just tanked.
Jamey Noel appeared in court on August 26th. more than 1 year after the Indiana State Police began their corruption probe.
And it's my understanding that you wish to withdraw your previously entered plea of not guilty and enter a plea of guilty pursuant to the terms of this document.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anybody offered you anything of any value to get your plea guilty here today?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threatened you, coerced you, forced you, or anyone else to get you to plead guilty here today?
No, Your Honor.
Noel's defense attorney read each count aloud to the court as he agreed to plead guilty to theft, money laundering, tax evasion, and other felonies.
May 10th, 2023, an HVAC system that was installed at the Turnberry Mansion in the amount of $2,700. March 22nd, 2023, a chimney repair at the Turnberry property in the amount of $11,200. February 17th, 2022, an airplane purchase in the amount of $25,000. September 9th, 2022, an airplane repair in the amount of $16,616. And on July 13th, 2022, a Cub Cadet mower purchased in the amount of $11,000. You acknowledge and understand that those are properties that you exerted unauthorized control to the detriment of the Utica Volunteer Fire Department, correct?
Yes, sir. Mr. Hurdle, do you have any further questions of Mr. Noel?
Mr. Noel, you know you don't have to plead guilty to anything today, don't you?
Yes, sir. More of that.
It's your choice.
Yes, sir.
You're pleading guilty because you committed these crimes?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no today. I'm going to take this matter under advisement. I'd like to hear from some of the victims, or a lot of the victims, in regards to whether they believe that this is an appropriate sentence. I want to hear from taxpayers that have been aggrieved by the actions of this individual. As I hope Mr. Noel has learned from my previous actions that I mean what I say and I say what I mean.
The judge had only one word after hearing Noel plead guilty 27 times.
Shameful.
Jamey Noel's sentencing hearing is scheduled for October 14th. This is Inside Edition Digital.
Wow, just simply amazing. I mean, I can't get into how I'm lost for words, just lost for words. I'd like to know what your intake is on this. You can reach me at 765-388-4672. If you have something you want me to listen to, make a comment on, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Until next time.